I'll never forget that day, though. God, I'll never forget it. Because we lived in Coronado, and my dad did gardening in Coronado, see? And then when the war broke out, and they started putting curfew on us. So all the people on the West Coast, you know, you had to be in bed, and you had to be in the house by 8 o'clock, certain curfew. You had limited areas, how far you could travel, and everything. And I never forget it. And I remember when my dad was doing gardening, and Carl Clint was in the police department. And Carl Clint says, he was our neighbor, he came over, he says, "Hey, look, tell Dad that they're going to pick him up tomorrow." So I said, "Let's tell Sam, my brother Sam, that you go along with him, Sam, because you have to bring the car home too, you know. You got to bring the tools, and where they're going to pick up your dad at 7th Street. You know, where they knew where he worked, the spot he worked." And so Sam said, "Okay, so don't you go to school now. Just stay with your dad." And Sam said, "Okay." So that same day that they're going to pick him up, and he told Dad and he told Mom. We appreciate what Carl Clint did for us. And he told Mom to be careful. Don't go out, you know, too much at night, things like that. Sure enough, on 7th Street, at that 9 or whatever, they came by, they picked up my dad. And Sam had to take the car home. And I was in school. I never saw my dad. And that's when they sent him to a special camp. All these Japanese people were sent. They call them Issei, you know, first generation. They were sent to a special camp. And I never saw him after that, you know, because what camp we went into, from Santa Anita to Poston, my dad and them were in another camp. We were in Poston, and my dad was in New Mexico, someplace, the camp, you know. And then they released him to go to Poston where the family was. And that's when we saw my dad. And they came back, and we were happy to see him because I hadn't seen him for a while. And then they brought him into Camp Poston where he was. And that's how Dad stayed with us from then on.